Hello and welcome to the Reading Entertainment Podcast, episode 429 for December 10th, 2023. My name is Nathan Reitz-Bruth. Joining me today, we have Andrew Roa McFain.
Hey.
And we are joined also by Connor, the Cyberpunk Monk Besh.
Ho, ho.
Yeah. And we are also joined by Nicole, Nick Lotus Robinson Carroll.
Idly, idly, yay!
And of course, I'm your host, Nathan Reitz-Bruth.
No, you have to yodel now. Yodel.
Yodel-a-hee-hoo. And then we're... so first off, Nicole, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me. I'm on Instagram at KUNC Nicole Nikole. No, that's on. No, actually, I'm not on X anymore. So it would be on Instagram. I'm actually in RC on a KUNC because I'm at KUNC, which is the NPR affiliate in Greeley, Colorado. So also KUNC.org. If you don't want to worry about the socials, there's links from my profile there.
Perfect. But one thing I request, it's actually a demand, and I don't have many demands on this podcast except for the big ones of don't say the N-word or anything like that.
Right.
Don't call it X.
Okay.
That's
okay. The site formerly known as Twitter, I don't use it anymore.
Yeah, it's still just fucking Twitter. Yeah, it's Twitter.
Still Twitter. It's still the Sears Tower. Like they could try to change these things. They ain't changing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't use the site anymore, so it's not an issue for me.
The only people who worry about it are the editors who are like, all right, just put X and then you have to put in parentheses, formerly known as No, it's everybody knows it as Twitter. It's stupid. Anyway, Connor, where can we find you guys?
By you guys, you mean you and me and Aroa. You can find us at aroa.website. Is it still up? I haven't checked in a while.
It's up.
It should be.
Assuming it's still up, one or two of those links that I want to draw your attention to are Clinton's Core Classics, A Rise of the Rune Lords First Edition Actual Play Podcast, and Bug City Blues, a Shadow World 6th World Edition Actual Play Podcast.
I'm on that one.
Yeah.
They're good. I like them.
Aroa has he's moved everything over to Cloudflare and it's better now.
I haven't needed to check in a minute. But yeah, you could check out my shows anywhere fine podcasts are found. Bug City Blues and Clinton's Core Classics.
Yay. Apparently they're adding a way for, and this isn't one of the news stories, but they're adding a way for you to be able to move your podcasts over to YouTube Music.
Oh, really?
So hopefully,
I will look into that.
It's not
that
available.
would save me.
It's not available yet.
That would save me the hassle of going through and running all of the previous episodes through like FFmpeg or whatever I'd need to do to get them on MP4.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be on YouTube Music, but it won't convert them to videos, so it won't be on YouTube proper.
I
That's
don't.
okay.
If it's still on YouTube, I'm hoping you can still find it, but I don't know enough about it.
No one listens to audio-only podcasts on YouTube.
Some people do.
Some people do, actually. Like, people have told me, like, hey, you should put this on YouTube, because I'd listen to it if it was on there. And it's like, well.
I think Nick Lotus listens to our podcast.
I listen to the Reading Entertainment Podcast on YouTube because it's just the easiest way for me to get to it because I subscribe to you anyway.
Yeah.
Enough people have told me to the contrary, where I am of the opinion that if I had, like, I don't know, Sony Vegas or whatever, Adobe Premiere, I could set up a template, run my episodes through, and just, like, I'd want to find a way to automate it, I guess. And I don't know how to do that.
There are ways to do it, but we'll talk about that later. You can find me, Nathan Reitz-Bruth, everywhere at Reeton. The big one is Twitch, twitch.tv/Reeton. I'm there Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time, unless something comes up. And that's that. We're going to move on to the games that we played. First off, Nick Lotus, will you tell us what games you played this week?
Absolutely. Haven't done a ton of games, but a couple of them. So naturally, Baldur's Gate 3, I'm playing. Have been for a little while. Between the full time job and some other stuff, I haven't gotten as far as I could, but I'm almost to the end of Act 2, and so it's been a really fun ride. I'm like just madly in love with Karlach. And then for as kind of my take a break when my atrocious sense of direction makes navigating Baldur's Gate too frustrating game, I'm playing Goodbye Volcano High, which uh if you haven't heard of it, it's a visual novel. It's kind of like Life is Strange meets a visual novel, but like with dinosaur people. And I know it sounds weird, and a lot of people immediately are like, furry game," but like it's it's a nice narrative. It's got a lot of a huge diverse cast of characters, and there's a huge beating heart at the center of it, and you can feel it immediately. And then there's also kind of these fun little rhythm mini games through it. So that's what I've been playing this week: BG3 and Goodbye Volcano High.
Good. Baldur's Gate 3. We'll definitely talk about that later. That's part of the main stories that we're going to talk about today. We have a lot of stories, so we're kind of going to rush through this section. Connor, games that you've played.
I played sick in bed for the last 10 days. And let me tell you, it's great having a Steam Deck. I sure do love booting it up, playing a game for like 20 minutes, and then going back to bed. I like that we have that available to us.
Yeah,
Games that are worth
I was going to
going.
say we had that when we were kids. It was called a Game Boy.
Yeah, but like you can't turn off your Game Boy if you're in the middle of shit. Like, I'm gonna go take a coma now.
That's true. That's true.
I've been that
Which
kind
ones?
of sick.
Which
The
ones?
games worth mentioning are Cookie Clicker, which when you're laying in bed, you sure do have a lot of time to click on cookies. I beat it. There's nothing else for me to unlock until they update it again. So I'll probably find something else to play on mobile, maybe. Been playing Halo Infinite, finished my first Battle Pass ever. I don't like it. I don't think I'm gonna buy another one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a
Doesn't
fan.
doesn't feel good. I've been playing this game called High on Life. You might have heard of it. It was made by the dude who made Rick and Morty before he got taken out of his own company.
Yep.
They made a DLC that I want to mention called High on Knife. You get a sub character in that game called Knifey, and yeah, it's about as much as I need to explain it. It's Knifey centered DLC, but you might know that Justin Roiland not in that company anymore, so they replaced the main gun because he's not there to do the voice anymore, and they don't acknowledge it at all.
That is great. That's wonderful. They should just change the voice. Or is that what they did? They replaced the voice actor, or
They
they just
replaced the character entirely. It's instead of a male gun named Kenny, it's a lady gun named Harper who does the exact same stuff. And I don't actually recognize who the character is because I don't watch SNL, but it is some lady who's on SNL. Like I'm aware because of the jokes that they do in the game that that's who that is.
they should. Have you ever watched like really crappy 90s TV where they have to write off a character and they're just like they put somebody in a wig and shoot them from the back, and then I think they did it on 2.5 Men where they made Charlie, is it Charlie Sheen's character
Mhm.
gets hit, like crushed by a piano?
Is that really what happens?
Yes.
That's amazing writing.
Yeah. So they just have some guy in a wig like walk up and like he's standing in front and then he gets crushed to death.
Let's put it this way: nobody ran into the operating room and said the plane was shot down over the bay and there was no survivors. Like they could have done something, and they did nothing.
I was hoping that it was like they put a really crappy wig on the gun and then you drop it and you're like, oh no. And then you find a new gun.
Somebody's very obviously faking the Justin Roiland. Like I would have loved it. I would have laughed
Yeah.
so hard if that was the case.
That I would have suggested that if I was part of that studio. We're gonna move on. We're gonna ask Aroa
Okay.
what games he's played. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have
I had
more
a
to
couple
talk
honorable
about?
mentions.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's fine. None of this shit matters. Go on.
Okay,
Get on
Aroa.
with it.
Nathan's in a hurry. We gotta get to the shit.
We're
I'm-
gonna upset Nathan.
No, we
Go
just have
on.
so much to talk about. What games did you play, Aroa?
I didn't play a lot of video game
Oh,
this
I'm
week
sorry.
besides WoW. I did manage to get one match of Lethal Company
Oh,
to
good.
Oh, yeah?
to actually work.
Oh, good.
I love that game.
And it was actually like it was cool playing with a random person. Like,
Oh, just a rando.
yeah.
I do have a little tidbit about that game, and I think this is from a recent update. You know how a lot of games are like, hey, we understand people have severe arachnophobia, so we're going to have an arachnophobia mode?
Yeah.
The Lethal Company version is it replaces the spider with the word spider. And that makes me laugh so goddamn hard every time I see it.
That's
Okay,
great.
that's hilarious.
That's great.
It's I
I
saw they added an arachnophobia mode, but like the patch notes are always intentionally vague,
Mhm.
so I didn't know what it was. That's so fucking good.
I laughed
I
so goddamn hard when I saw it the first time.
I appreciate the hell out of the developer of this game. I don't remember what the other game was that I recognized them from, but like they it's Steels, which was just like a random indie horror game, but it had like cool ideas and the animation was fantastic. And then like it makes so much sense that then they went on to make Lethal Company because like there's just so much personality in the fucking game. And I love it. And it's crazy that it's just one dude.
I'm so
Yeah.
delighted
And
that it's doing well because it deserves it.
yeah,
It so well deserves it. It's such a masterpiece on just going back to basics and making a good game.
yeah. And like it's fun and it's functional and like it just it's crazy how like one dude who just has a fun idea can make something so fucking great.
That's good.
And then you have shit like Phasmophobia where like yeah, that was fun for like a couple weeks and they're still trying to wring money out of that and it ain't working.
Beating that dead horse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Then there's just like a bunch of
And then
AAA
there's the whole
games.
AAA industry.
Yeah,
The whole
with
fucking thing.
they don't want to make fun games anymore. They want to make money.
I want to make slot machines. Hey,
Yeah.
insert your mom's credit card. It's only $9.99. Oh, you didn't get the thing you wanted? Oh, do it again. It's okay.
Yes.
It's all passes now, but I digress.
Which is it's ironic that I complain about that whenever I played Fortnite, but I'm not supposed to say I played Fortnite. Nathan
Yeah.
told me not to
You
No,
say
did
it.
you're not
not play
allowed. You're
Fortnite.
not allowed to. So, we're gonna move on to me, and I'll talk about the games I played. I tried to play Lethal Company. I have a friend who told me, "Hey, you should buy this game so we could play it because it looks fun," and I did. And then
Yeah.
on Monday I was like, "Hey, man, you wanna play some games?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, but you're the one who wanted to play Lethal Company, and I know you don't
No.
work tonight. And he's like, "Nah, I don't want to do it." I'm like, oh,
When he was
okay.
laughing, I was hoping it was Aroa who said that to you.
It
No,
wasn't. It
it
wasn't
wasn't.
me.
And so I played Starfield on Monday, and then I played some Bot and Kaitos on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then Friday I drove 480 miles, so I didn't play games. But Bot and Kaitos is good. I think I'm towards the end, and I'm having fun. I thought that there was a limit to how much damage you could do because I did 999 damage, and I was like, oh, that must be the limit. But no, you can go over that. I just actually did 999 damage at one point, and I was like, oh, okay, just perfectly like did that amount of damage. And then the last game I played, which leads into our first story, is I played Rock Band on Fortnite. And it's bad. It's
Oh,
really
you get to
bad.
say it.
Huh?
You get to fucking say that you played it.
I
Yeah,
wanted
that's
But I don't.
I wanted the one good segue I've ever had in this, okay?
Oh, he's gonna drop the ball too. He's gonna fuck it up, you guys.
I'm
He
gonna do
already
it.
did. I fucked it up for him.
You did it on purpose. I told you not to say anything. Next week, no, the last week you're gonna hear from Aroha. So I played. I was like, oh man, they're adding a rock band mode, and I didn't have high hopes, and they didn't meet those expectations. They have
Why do you
15
say
songs.
that? Okay, is that it? Is it the paltry set list?
Basically, like it's fine for what it is, But
It's
there
the
are
very lowest common denominator of public interest and song availability. Like, it seems like a
Yeah.
very carefully selected scattershot of, oh, people will walk up and try this once or twice. Haha.
yeah, it doesn't. You have harmonics. You still have licensing for how many fucking songs on Rock Band 3 and or Rock Band 4,
Well,
whatever
that's
the newest one was.
not how that works.
I know
You
that's
know
not
that.
how that works. But like it's epic. They could afford to license some more music and get it ported over. It wouldn't
Yeah.
take them that long.
No.
They don't have controller support yet. They have controller for support for like Xbox controllers, but they do not have controller support for the actual Guitar Hero or Rock Band controllers.
No, because that's not what it's for.
No, they said they're gonna have it.
I know they want to add it, but it's like that's a post-launch thing that now that it's out the door, they're gonna be able to have like one dude work on that.
I understand that.
Like,
But I was like, okay, so and they also say in the news article that they have like they'll have free songs and then they'll have songs that you have to buy. And what I mean by free songs is they will rotate. They're like a rotating list of songs that are going to be free, and then they'll have other songs that you can buy. And I was like, oh, so they're going to have at least 100 songs or something like that. I thought, or 50, something that like they're gonna have, like, even if it's just the old like in-house music that they had, where they're like, oh, we got some indie like bands to make music. They got Jack
that
and
is
shit.
surprising. Yeah, I am kind of surprised they didn't have any in-house harmonics bands put their shit out there because, like, yeah, that wouldn't have cost them anything for licensing.
Yeah, so I was pretty disappointed. They have, I think the big one right now is the Weekend. That's the band that they're like hyping up.
Yeah, the Weekend, they're like directly partnered with the Weekend for the launch of this thing. There's a separate battle pass specifically for the Rock Band mode.
Yep.
And if you complete that battle pass on top of unlocking several songs permanently, you unlock the Weekend as a skin,
Yeah.
which like if you care,
If you
I
care.
I don't like any of the Weeknd's music. Uh,
I thought it
that
was.
said,
I
I
played.
thought
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
well, I thought the gameplay was fine.
The gameplay was fine. Like I don't like the buttons. I don't know if you can change them because I didn't spend any time doing it. But the buttons they use for the controls, I'm not a huge fan of. But I think you
Did
can probably remap them.
Did you do keyboard or controller?
Keyboard.
Yeah, I was very much thrown off whenever because I just immediately went to expert because I was like, come the fuck on. I'm not gonna have any problem with this. And it was really weird that they do, I think it's like DFJK by default.
Yep.
And then whenever you get to, I assume, hard, then they add a fifth key and it's H. And like I don't know what I wanted them to use, but it just feels weird.
I'm
Wait.
holding my keyboard now on those keys. That doesn't feel normal in any sense. I don't like that.
I was
better.
thinking it would be like ASDFG.
So it is weird that they default the way that they do. I will say, being somebody who has played DJ Max Trilogy on PC and Respect, Trilogy had an 8-key mode, and I want to say it was like ASDF HJKL.
Yeah.
So like, and you do want to have two hands. Like I see why they wouldn't want to have them like everything right in a row, because then you'd be crowding with both of your hands right there. It just, I don't know. I don't necessarily like that if they were going to have the fifth key at all, it seems weird to like learn your muscle memory with using your index and middle finger, and then suddenly, oh, now you gotta move your index finger one to the left,
Yeah.
and now you're using your ring finger on your right hand all the time.
Yeah, it's
They
weird.
obviously did not think it out for PC as much as they presumably did for console players, but whatever.
So hopefully in the coming months they will add a lot more songs. That's my main gripe with it, is that they have a paltry selection of songs. You can get any Guitar Hero Rock Band, like any of them have more songs for free or included with the disc. Um and even that the songs you can buy, I was like, oh, I can definitely go on the store and buy more songs. And I saw 10 songs available to buy. And I was like, oh, where's the show more button?
Yeah,
And it wasn't there. There was maybe that's why they're like, we don't know how to make a show more button. Let's just put these songs out.
I wonder if it's just a matter of they don't know how successful this is going to be,
Maybe.
and they didn't want to like blow their load all at once and be like, all right, we invested $10 million into this. We've got 50 songs. Like, I don't know. That said, they own Bandcamp, right?
They owned Harmonix.
Well, but like Harmonix is just like, yeah, they have a bunch of in-house bands, but like there are not necessarily major, but there are big enough bands that self-release their music on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
So like, and I am assuming, like, I believe that when you sell on Bandcamp, you're essentially giving Bandcamp license to use your music however they want.
Right.
So like, Epic owns that. They could just put a bunch of music in there. Like, and again, I totally get that, like, they want to put a bunch of like well-known shit in there. That's why they have The Weeknd. That's why they have Imagine Dragons. Why they used Thunder of all songs, I don't fucking know. Um,
I don't know.
Granted, like they're all Imagine Dragons is garbage in the first place, but like, really Thunder. But uh, like there are a lot of other really weird choices. Uh, yeah, but besides all that, like, yeah, I really hope that they expand the mode substantially.
Oh yeah.
And
And adding controller support, that's a big one for me. I have controllers, you do have controllers. It would be nice to play it like an actual Rock Band game.
it would be cool. I know why they don't have it, because of the latency, but I would
Mhm.
really like it if they had actual vocals. Like, just put karaoke in your game.
They don't have vocals?
They have, I believe the vocals are just pressing buttons still.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
It's
even
like
need to be
Rock
great. It would
Band.
just need to be like a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
just
like
something.
Harmonix has the fucking karaoke revolution tech that they've been using in Rock Band for years. Like, they used it on the fucking Twitch Sings thing. Like,
Yeah.
just do it again. It'd be easy. You probably already have all those songs tracked already.
It's on
Like,
Twitch
That's
Sings. It's already probably deployable.
yeah, that's
yeah.
another thing, is they did have Twitch Sings. So they also had I know the licensing is going to be different, but like, they have the ability to talk to those licensors, the publishers and stuff, and get a bunch of songs. They make billions of dollars. They could make it happen. But anyway. Oh wait. Oh no.
Mhm.
Before we move on, it says, with cloud gaming, you can play Fortnite on many phones and computers as long as you have a good internet connection and live with a region supported by the service. Here are some cloud gaming services you can use to play Fortnite and this new mode: Xbox Cloud Gaming, Nvidia GeForce Now, and Amazon Luna. Ooh.
Yeah.
Roa, your mission for this week is to play Fortnite Rock Band on Nvidia GeForce Now.
Play Fortnite Rock Band on my phone over 5G.
Please do it. It'd be awful. Anywho, we are going to move on to the next story. This is one I believe Aroa brought up. There's the
I did
logo.
have something to say. I
Oh,
know you're in a hurry. Am I the only one that feels like this whole thing is just like a soft boot or a beta release for them bringing back Rocksmith? Or
oh,
not Rocksmith, Rock Band, I mean.
oh yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I think they might just keep it in Fortnite, but it's definitely them testing the waters.
I could see them being like, and now we're bringing it to Roblox. And now we're bringing it to, I don't fucking, like, I could see them releasing a controller that's got Bluetooth support so you could hook it up to anything from your console to your phone and then putting it on every platform they can. Roblox, fucking Fortnite, whatever.
Yeah,
Well, they
Madden.
won't. The reason that it's in Fortnite is because Epic owns Harmonix. Like,
yeah,
Yeah, I know,
so
but like money moves, shit happens. I'm just saying, like them putting it in things that aren't exclusively, hey, go put this disc in your console and play some Rock Band, like
I
I
I
that
think
specifically.
I do think that it's very probable that if this takes off in a major way, that yeah, they make a controller that's kind of like the Guitar Hero Live controller that they put out, where it has Bluetooth connectivity and you can use it with your PC or with your iPad and with your phone and all that. I could very much see that happening. Yeah.
yeah, probably. With that said, we're now gonna move on, Connor, to the next story, which is the logo fail firmware attack.
I feel like it's weird that this is so hot on the tails of when WebP was getting hijacked so aggressively.
hmm
So what's up with this? What's happening?
So, long story short, whenever you boot your computer up, before like I don't know, probably like 2010 ish, uh, you had BIOS,
Yep.
and a lot of people they know the word BIOS. Um, that it's sort of like the starter for your computer that kicks everything else into gear. Well, sometime around 2010 ish, that started getting replaced with UEFI, which is essentially the same thing, but it's newer and fancier. That's the push to start version of the
Yeah.
starter.
It has
Uh,
like it has some graphics in it, like you can make it look not like it was made in 1982.
yeah, and it also offer like that's what how you get secure boot, which is like one of the requirements for Windows 11, sort of. Uh, that's how you get a lot of newer features, like how you get like fan controls in your BIOS and stuff like that. Everybody uses UEFI now. Um, but part of that, of course, is whenever your computer's booting up, now you can have your motherboard show a cool logo of usually the manufacturer of your motherboard or something.
Oh,
And the thing about that is you can overwrite that from your operating system. And the thing about that is that as we went over with the WebP thing, a lot of times applications that interpret images, they just assume that everything in that image is a-okay, and so they'll just execute whatever the hell is in that file regardless of whether it's just arbitrary code. So it turns out you can just overwrite your boot logo in your UEFI. I'm going to call it BIOS. You can just overwrite the boot logo with malware that'll write itself to like privileged locations in your BIOS, so that there's no way you can get rid of it or get around it unless you really know what the hell you're doing. And you've got like the lowest level rootkit that you could possibly imagine running on your machine. And you wouldn't necessarily have any idea that it had happened, because you could just overwrite that logo with an image that looks exactly the same, but just also contains malicious code that gets executed every time your computer starts up. And really, the only thing that you would need to do to make that happen would be run some random thing off the internet in administrator mode.
just so everybody knows, Aroa.website is up. and you will want to download that image file.
Yeah, just you scroll down to the bottom of the page. There's a little exe link. You just run that as admin.
Oh, I thought that was just your startup like splash thing. Like, hey, download this file. It makes the site run better.
Oh, you mean the thing that forces you to autoplay the music?
Yes. Also
Yeah.
downloads the file.
I
Yeah.
don't think that's what happens. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's not what happens.
Yeah,
Road out
that's not.
website, a-okay.
Yeah, yeah. No
I've
malicious.
actually replaced all images on my website with WebP.
No.
No. So has this been used in the wild yet? Do we know?
I don't think it has been, at least not on any kind of scale. And the thing is, like, you would need to know quite a bit about your target to make it particularly useful. So like it's not like it's going to be, it's like a lot of these exploits, like the Spectre and Meltdown stuff, where like it is extremely worrying how easy it is to actually do it in the first place, but then actually like getting anything useful out of that exploitation is a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
So you would need to pretty specifically target somebody to actually do anything with it. So it's not something to be super worried about, and I believe that there are already patches coming out to mitigate this.
Now, are those
But
going to
it
be Windows patches or are those going to be BIOS
oh
updates?
they will be BIOS specific. Like your motherboard manufacturer will have to do this, which
Okay.
also means that for a lot of people, this is never going to get patched, which is why
Yeah.
it's a good thing that it's not really something to be too concerned about. Uh, However, I do think this is going to draw attention to UEFI as a target, because I just it's surprising to me that we've had UEFI for this long and no one's thought to do this until just now.
Yeah.
And that was what one of the researchers in the article said. Like it's nuts that like it's such a an obvious thing in hindsight, but it's just no one really thought about it apparently.
It
Even
really goes to show that the more they change, like I think I said this exact same spiel when we were talking about WebP, so I'll keep it short. But like the more things change, the more they change, they stay the same. One of the first major malicious code attacks that people would know about is a function called gets. Gets in low-level programming. It says, "Hey, I need the user to send some input. I'm going to stop processing until I get it." It doesn't care what you put in. It'll take it and then it'll start running it. If you tell it what it wants to hear, great, it'll keep going. If you tell it what it wants to hear and also all of the code to write a whole nother program, it's going to take that answer, run that program, and then try to do whatever the fuck it was doing before. And that's exactly what's happening here with the WebP exploit, with the what was this one called again? The um,
It's
sorry, I
just a
need to have this
boot
load.
logo.
Logo fail.
logo fail, yeah. It's
And that's how most consoles have been hacked recently, because like what you're describing is also what buffer overflows
It's the exact same
take
thing. The
advantage of.
exact same
Yeah,
thing.
it's just the application's expecting you to give it something, you give it that and a little bit more, and it doesn't give a shit, and that's the problem.
yes. It hopefully nothing comes of this and nobody actually makes any like with Spectre and Meltdown, there was a lot of patching and a lot of people worrying, and I don't think anybody's released malicious code for it yet that I've heard of.
No, and if they have, they're probably a state sponsored actor,
Probably.
and that's not going to be a problem for you.
Not for us. We're going to move on and we're going to talk about the next story, which is more AI stuff. Yay, Google Gemini. Is this like an update, the Bard 2.0?
Uh, to some degree, yeah. So
Okay.
it's technically it's a separate project from Bard. It really didn't initially have anything to do with Bard. They're going to use the Bard branding just to make this more accessible. they're essentially just going to replace the model that Bard is running on in the background with this. You could consider Bard, to put it into OpenAI slash Chat GPT terms. You could say that Bard was Google's Chat GPT like 2.5, and Gemini is going to be their 3.5 and Chat GPT 4, both, because there are three different versions of Gemini. Because why don't we just make things even more complicated? There's Babby Gemini, which is the version that they're going to be putting on phones, uh, specifically the Pixel phones, and that'll once that is out, handle some very basic actions at first. You'll essentially just be able to use it to send messages to people and stuff. By the sound of it, it's going to be completely useless on phones, at least for a while, until they
yeah.
figure out what they're doing with it. The much more interesting one is the one that they're replacing Bard with initially, which is again is like their ChatGPT 3.5. So like that one is supposed to be essentially the same thing as normal ChatGPT, the non-premium version. So we'll see how that goes. And then premiering sometime next year will be the big boy version, which according to Google is actually better than GPT-4 in all but one benchmark.
Oh, good.
And it is both faster and more competent overall in there by a large margin, like sometimes close to 10% better, which in the state that things are right now, that's a pretty big jump. We'll be probably seeing that roll out as a paid thing sometime early next year, I believe. And like it is cool, but it's also just like, okay, Google's playing catch up on
Yep.
OpenAI, and meanwhile OpenAI has already been like, yeah, we're working on this like Project Q thing, and it's going to be a lot better than what we already have. So Google's
And
already getting beat out.
and it's lying.
Yeah, and see that was the second part.
Yep.
Is then after all that, it comes out the very next day that Super Ultra Gemini isn't actually capable of the things that Google said it was in the uh, demonstration video. Now that is not to say that the benchmarks are inaccurate. The benchmarks are supposedly accurate. Although I did watch a video that noted that Google themselves created some of the benchmarks in the first place, and they have done that sort of thing with Chrome previously to be like, look, benchmarks don't lie. The benchmark we made up, Chrome is the best at it.
Yeah.
Uh,
We catered this specifically to our web browser, and our web browser does it better.
Go
Oh,
fucking
okay.
figure.
Yeah.
Uh,
And what
but
was not real in
so
or what was taken and not done correctly or whatever, you know what I mean?
the the big feature, like super impressive thing that they showed off Gemini doing was it could essentially watch a video, understand what it was seeing in the video, and respond to prompts about the video. So like it could watch a video of someone drawing and then in real time identify what they were drawing.
Oh, I see.
Um,
I have the video playing. It's like, oh, the cat was jumping up the wall.
yeah. In reality, what they did was took a screenshot of the video at that particular point in time and then asked Gemini to describe what they saw and then stitch the two things together.
Oh, I
So
see.
it wasn't so the reason that this matters, because it may even be it was kind of obvious to me at first that like, well, yeah, of course it's just looking at the frame at the time that it got the prompt. So like, who cares? But like, the thing is that these models generally, it's it isn't thought that they can remember much of anything
Yeah.
beyond their prompt. Uh, so it would have been extremely impressive if it was able to contextualize multiple frames of video next to each other and understand that they flowed into each other and determine meaning from that somehow. Uh, and that's kind of what Google was implying, but it turns out now that that's not actually what was happening.
No, I'm sure you've seen the video 6 or 7 years ago now from Tesla with like their self-driving car,
Yeah.
and it's come out since then that that was fake. And at the time you had people going on stage and saying, "Hey, we have," and by people I mean Elon Musk, going on stage saying, we have cars that can drive better than humans right now. That's how good our self-driving is. And fast forward 7 years later, and they were lying. That was a big lie. Like
I seem to recall Musk saying that like they had, I don't remember exactly the label, like, because they have like levels for the capability of the self-driving car,
yeah.
and he was essentially saying we're at like level 2 or whatever the hell it was, to say that it's completely autonomous and doesn't need any human input.
So level
And
2 is, I think level 1
I
is
don't,
like adaptive cruise control and stuff. Level 2
okay, yeah.
is like highway driving.
Maybe
So
maybe it was level 3. I don't
yeah,
know.
level
It was
3 is
whatever
mostly
the one
autonomous.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the one is that was like, you could just tell it where you want to go and it'll take you there. And he
Yeah,
was saying
that's
that that was where they were at, and that was not true. That
and
is not true at all.
they're getting to level 3. But I saw like it was a video that was released where the guy was showing off the full self-driving beta. And Elon Musk and Tesla has moved to not using a LiDAR system. They're like, "Oh, we're actually just going to put a bunch of cameras and then use really good AI so you don't need map data or anything." And the guy's explaining this, saying like, "Yeah, as long as you have a bunch of sensors and cameras and you have really good AI, then you could tell where to go and it'll, do stuff for you." As he's
As long as
saying
it's not
that,
raining.
yeah, as he's saying that, they blow through a fucking stop sign. Just, and then right after he's like, "Whoa," and his passenger's like, "I think we just ran that stop sign." And then it goes up, and it's a narrow area that they have to drive through. There's a car coming on the left, and there's a bunch of cars on the right parked. And the car tries to swerve around the car on the left, but starts to go into the car, like aiming right for the car on the right. And so the guy has to take control. And that's like less than 30 seconds after they just blew through the stop sign. I don't think we're there yet, pal. And I don't think that Google's AI is there yet for their Gemini stuff. But maybe in a few years, all that stuff will be ready and we'll be eating crow. But I'm still a little worried about all of it. Anyway,
I'm not terribly worried about generalized intelligence. I think
yeah,
we're going to hit a wall with large language models very quickly. Like within the next 2 or 3 years, I think we're going to start to get to like, in terms of the benchmarks, we're going to hit like 97, 98%, and then it's not going to be able to get any further. And there's going to have to be some other paradigm shift.
yeah. I don't think
Because
that.
like
Oh, I'm sorry.
I also so Google has like their own hardware that they run all of their machine learning stuff on. Uh, and these are like the ones that they're doing Gemini with, or that are they're training Gemini with, are their fifth generation ones, and they have like entire fucking data centers just full of racks and racks of these TPMs.
Mm-hmm.
And uh they're like, the fact that they're putting that much into training this thing it makes me very skeptical that we're suddenly going to jump into sci-fi tier complete generalized intelligence within the next 20 years.
That'd
I
be
just
awesome.
don't see it happening.
That'd be cool. I don't see it happening, but it would be cool. I'm okay
I
with
want to be
hanging.
optimistic about like when I hear everyone talking about Q Star and how that's supposed to be revolutionary, they never actually say how. And oh, it's
Yeah.
trade secret, but like until actually that rabbit comes out of the hat, I'm not gonna hold my like. You could say it's cool, you could say it's cool, but until it does something cool, it's not cool.
Well, and
Uh,
one big thing before we move on to the next story, but one big thing about AI is you have Microsoft and Google and everybody, Tesla, like using these AI models and being like, we need to improve AI. It's going to be the future, and a lot of people aren't thinking about how, like, what are you going to use that AI for? Oh, you're going to use that AI to lay people off of their jobs. That's like their whole point is they don't want employees to have to pay, so they're pumping them up a bunch of money into AI so that they can get rid of low-level jobs.
which is great because I saw an article a couple days ago. There's this company that they're selling an AI product for drive-throughs
Uh-huh.
where you pull up to the drive-through and essentially ChatGPT asks you what you want, you tell it what you want, and then it feeds that information to the workers inside the store, so you don't have to have somebody running drive-through. Uh, Turns out something like 90% of all orders end up having to be redone by their Filipino call center workers.
Yep. They need if I was a business like that and I was like, man, I don't want to have people have to interact with, the workers or whatever. Just make them use an app. I never like whenever I go to McDonald's, I never order at the drive-through. I just put it in my app. Like I will park in
Yeah,
the fucking parking lot, order in my
me
app,
too.
and then drive up.
And a lot of them, you go inside, they've got like 4 kiosks there. You can just
Yeah,
put your order in on that. You don't have to go talk to somebody. Now, granted, it's a lot less sanitary, but
yeah.
like I feel like it'd be a lot easier to develop like self-sanitizing kiosks than it would be to make ChatGPT good at taking somebody's fast food order.
Probably. And that was another great thing is they have an app for pretty much every country you go to. So there's a Deutschland app I have to download when I go to
Oh yeah.
Germany. There's a I'm sorry. There's a Japanese.
Whoa,
Um,
whoa.
yeah, that word right there. There's a Japanese McDonald's app.
Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, and I I don't. You know what I meant. So there's a Japanese McDonald's app, and it made it way easier. So I didn't have to like get through that language barrier. I could just show them my number, and they're like, "Here's your food." Okay, great. We're gonna move on to our next. This is the big stories here. Is the Game Awards happened, and I was busy streaming and not wanting to watch 3 hours of Game Awards, so I didn't. I don't even know. Is it on Spike TV anymore? Does Spike TV exist?
I think it was just streamed on Twitch, wasn't it?
I have no idea. It probably was. You're probably right.
I
We're
watched
gonna.
Yeah.
I watched somebody else streaming it, watching it.
That's
Yeah. I
that's
watched a
often.
VOD of someone streaming it, watching it.
Yeah, I did that with the 2020 election stuff, and let me tell you, it was miserable. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about the winners. We're gonna start from the bottom to the top, and we're just going to talk about the winners until we get to the newer ones, unless somebody has something specific to say about the candidates. I'm putting those ground rules here right now. The Player's Voice Award. The winner was Baldur's Gate 3. Category is 100% voted by fans for their favorite game of 2023. Just a little bit of a spoiler. You're going to be hearing Baldur's Gate 3 a lot tonight.
Yeah, and I do have a comment about the one of the awards that BG3 wins when we get to
Okay.
it.
Okay. Best adaptation. This is like TV shows, movies, comics, video games that were turned into that. The Last of Us won, which was what was that, HBO show? I believe. I didn't
Yep.
watch it. I hear it was really good. For me, the only one of these that I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie, but I also saw Twisted Metal, and having watched Twisted Metal and the Super Mario Brothers movie, I would say that probably The Last of Us probably probably would have won.
I'm just disappointed that FNAF wasn't in there.
Yeah, it wasn't even in, like, they could have added number 6.
Yeah, that's wild that it wasn't even nominated.
They
They
could have
put-
replaced Gran Turismo. No one
That's-
gave a shit about the Gran Turismo movie.
Yeah,
wanna
that's what
see
I was
Gran
thinking.
Turismo.
Nobody cared, Nicole. Nobody wants to see the Grand Turismo movie.
Well, it's just like, I don't know.
I thought the trailer looked cool.
The Gran Turismo games don't really even have a story, though, do they?
I've
Like,
no idea.
No.
Never played them.
No, they
And-
don't. You drive.
But the movie's not even
Well,
about the game. It's about some dude like rising to esports fame by playing the game.
Yeah, like it's not really an adaptation so much as like they just wanted to make a movie about an esports player
Yeah.
playing a racing game, and they got the Gran Turismo license. Like that's what
No,
it feels like.
That's fair. That's fair.
Uh,
I am still interested in seeing it as a movie, but that's fair.
The next one I disagree with 100%. Most anticipated game, recognize an announced game that has illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth won that one.
Push the gaming medium forward, and you do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah. I don't know which of these games I would say is going to push the gaming medium forward, but I'm going to assume it's not Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I didn't realize that was part of the naming, or like what the description for the category was, because whenever I was watching this, I was barely hearing the sound from the actual thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, why isn't GTA 6 on here?
Yeah.
What, like, you want to talk about most fucking anticipated game? It's been GTA 6 for like the last 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
Best esports team, JD Gaming won.
I don't recognize any of these people.
I have
Me
zero
neither.
idea. Best esports team. I'm sorry, best esports game, Valorant. Cool.
Oh,
They misspelled League.
I was about to say, I'm really surprised. with
Yeah,
that.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. League. Anyway,
League.
leg. Best. Oh, there's it. There we go. Best esports event was the 2023 League of Legends World Championship.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm surprised it wasn't the Halo thingy that they did. That was like a renaissance for it.
I'm surprised that's not even on the list.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
it seems like this year there wasn't a whole lot of focus on fighting games in general, and maybe that's why Evo didn't get it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, Nintendo's been ruining the Smash scene.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah.
The best esports coach. That's Christine Potter Chi.
They put 2021. IGN, for the love of God, it's a listicle.
You
At
can't.
least fucking proofread the listicle.
You
That's a lot
can't-
of work for their intern.
Yeah, you can't spell ignorant without IGN. I guess I agree, because Christine Potter Chi has the least stupid sounding name out of all of the people running. All of the candidates.
Oh my God.
What?
They just copy pasted the article from 2021 and then filled in all the new names.
And
Yeah, why wouldn't
didn't do a find replace for 2021.
They didn't, because
Oh
look,
man.
best
I see.
esports athlete
Yep.
2021,
You're
content
right.
creator of the year 2021.
Oh man. Best esports athlete was Lee Faker. I'm not trying. I'm
Just
Don't
say Faker, it's fine.
recognize. Yeah.
Faker.
None
won.
of these people are real. They're all made up. Go on.
Yeah. Content creator
Korea
of
is
the
not
year.
a real country.
Content creator of the year, Iron Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, woo! Best
She's the only one I even recognize on that list.
Okay.
This is the one I saw that when they were doing the thank you speech, I had to take a moment and be like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
Yeah. So I think this might be the one Nicole wanted to talk about. Best multiplayer game was won by Baldur's Gate 3.
No, that wasn't the one, but no, I was very excited to see how many awards the Baldur's Gate 3 won. It's actually not Baldur's Gate 3. It's more so an individual involved
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
production.
I
But I didn't
gotcha.
want to jump ahead.
It's your crush. I get it.
In best multiplayer game, somebody put Diablo 4 here as his joke, I'm assuming. That's very funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, come on, you got phones, don't you?
Best I like Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't play the multiplayer. But
Did you like the single player?
Yes.
Imagine playing that with other people.
That sounds bad.
Imagine a party of 4 halfling barbarians throwing each other across the countryside.
I've been playing multiplayer with my husband as a halfling bard, and he is an elf or half elf paladin, and so he's just constantly saving me from doing stupid stuff.
Oh yeah, it makes
And I
sense.
tried to romance Asterion and got turned down flat.
Oh yep, that'll
Like,
happen.
yeah, why? I guess he thought, why bonk the tav when you can get the blood for free? Because I was totally feeding him.
Oh, I see.
I played multiplayer too, and I was hard role playing as a dwarf monk with extreme social development issues, and I killed Asterion immediately.
Interesting.
I saw him tackle my party member, and I was like, "Oh fuck you!" And then I killed him.
Interesting.
And then that's how we found out that if you revive him after someone else kills him, then he goes, "They killed me." That's really great.
I enjoy that spiel quite a bit.
The next one is one that I think they put in here just for Connor. The best sim/strategy game was won by Pikmin 4.
I don't know why that's just for me, but I do love all of these games except maybe Fire Emblem.
I know you love Pikmin. That's why I was saying.
Love Pikmin, homie.
Yeah, because I think you were the one that voted on this. You're like Pikmin.
I love Pikmin, and I love Advance Wars, and I love City Skyline. I don't actually know what Company of Heroes is, but I don't.
It's an RTS.
I don't know enough about it to dislike it, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Best sports/racing game was won by Forza Motorsport. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Best family game was won by Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
And between my fucking vocal fry and your inability to speak, this is a great podcast.
My brain is trying to combine words again. If you
just gotta slow down, homie. Relax.
Yeah. Best fighting game was Street Fighter 6. What is God of Rock?
It is god awful.
Oh,
let me
okay.
tell you. So I actually coincidentally came across God of Rock recently because it was on sale, and I had it on my wish list, and I remember putting it on my wish list because I was like, wow, this sounds like a really fucking cool idea. And like I don't think they had gameplay or anything yet. I watched gameplay of it, and holy shit, I cannot imagine how you fuck up the concept of combining rhythm and fighting game together so hard.
Oh, I see.
Because like imagine you're playing Guitar Hero, but in between notes you have to input fighting game combos.
Oh.
And also the chart is sideways.
Oh.
Because they for some reason thought, yeah, that's a way that anybody's brain works. You hit the buttons while they're rolling sideways.
Well, I the only thing I can see for that would be like actual sheet music and stuff is sideways, right? But most people aren't going to think like that. Most normies aren't going to think like that.
You'd think it would flow from right to left, but it just depends on which side of the screen you're on.
Oh no.
Like there's the UI needs just to be completely redone. I think if they did that, like it would be a substantially improved game. Because I do think that fundamentally it is really cool to essentially play Guitar Hero's battle mode, but there's a fighting game happening in the background. Like and like every note that you hit is your character like throwing a punch at the other one kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like instead of getting like star power, you like collect power-ups and then you can use those to attack the other guy. uh so then you like add extra notes to their thing, or like put them in lefty mode, that kind of shit. Like it's fun looking. It's just that I cannot imagine playing that game without having the monitor turned to the side.
Yeah, I have my monitor vertical, so maybe that's how maybe that's how I'll play it. Um, the next one was best RPG. That was won by Baldur's
Oh,
Gate 3.
gee.
Baldur,
I can't
what?
believe Baldur's Gate 3 won Best RPG.
Why
It
is
wasn't Starfield.
or Final Fantasy 16 or Lies of P?
God, did
It's-
Starfield even get nominated for anything?
Yeah, it got
Best
nominated
RPG?
for best RPG. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Okay.
it's right there. It's right there in front of you.
To be fair,
Of course.
Nathan's going down this list backwards, at least according to the way that it loaded for me. So I could.
Yeah,
I could understand being lost.
The problem is
He's leading up to Best Game.
yeah,
Right.
I'm going. The problem is the
Building
article was
consistency.
backwards. The
Get
So he's
And from 2
punishing the
years
listener.
ago.
Got it.
yeah. No, the article it starts on the bottom for what was first, and then goes all the way to the top for the last announced thing.
Okay. That's
That's
my
why.
problem. I'm not looking at the article because I
No,
just
it-
I just have my notes that I wrote from
it-
watching it.
I see. It's in reverse chronological order. There we go.
Okay.
The next game, best action/adventure game, was The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Which, yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
maybe Spider-Man 2, but yeah, probably Zelda better is better.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
2 wasn't long enough though, and I will say, Tears of the Kingdom. I feel like it did not have the staying power that Breath of the Wild had,
Yeah.
but
No.
it's still pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Best action game, Armored Core 6. So
Yeah, all right.
Dark
Yeah.
Souls Core.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Whoa.
I had fun with it.
Why?
Oh, I
Um,
went there. I'll go. I'll have this discussion.
Why?
Dead Island 2 was one of them. That was another game I played this year, and I would say, yeah, Armored Core probably it's better. Like as
Among all the nominations there, definitely.
yeah.
A part of me wants to be like, surely there was better action games this year, and
No.
no, there wasn't.
Name one, right? Like I couldn't.
Nope.
Innovation in accessibility, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. That was Forza Motorsport. They're the winners.
What about, didn't Sony like finally release an accessible controller or something?
I think all of these are specifically games that have it in there.
Is there software and or hardware?
Well, they didn't
I'm just
include
saying.
any hardware apparently.
I'm
so
just saying, you know.
Best VR/AR game, Resident Evil Village. Did anybody play that?
Nope.
Oh, all
Not,
right.
not in VR. I should.
Hold on. Village is 8, right? Yes. Okay. So
Uh-huh.
no, I have not. Had to fucking think about it. That's not good. How many fucking Resident
Seven's
Evils are
only
gonna
in
make?
VR on PS4.
Yeah.
Yes, I did that one, and that was kind of felt like a tech demo, but okay. I
was.
I assumed Village was not much more than that as well.
You want to know a secret though?
What?
Maybe you already know about it. Even though there's no official VR version of 7 on PC, there is a mod made by some guy that adds full motion control support and everything.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that might be fun.
Yeah.
We've spoke about that before in the past. On some episode 4 years ago, probably. Best community support, winner, shockingly enough, Baldur's Gate 3.
What? But they don't even have cross-dimensional saves.
I was really happy when they're like, "Hey, we released a patch, and the patch notes are too long for Steam."
Yeah.
And it was a lot. They put a lot of that stuff in there.
I
Um,
do have to hand it. I was initially like, I don't know, No Man's Sky, but no,
yeah,
no, it should be Baldur's Gate.
yeah. Best mobile game, Honkai Star Rail was the winner.
That's it. I know my next mobile game.
I can't fucking believe they shafted Hello Kitty Island Adventure like that.
That's what I was gonna say. Uh, what?
You know how many fucking hours I put into Hello Kitty Island Adventure and then they just fucking ignore it?
Um, I the problem is I actually could see you downloading that game and trying it out.
I have no idea what it even is.
I have no idea either.
I know what Honkai Star Rail is, though. I really wanted to play it until I found out it was a turn-based RPG.
Best
Next year's
debut.
Endless Zone Zero, though.
Oh yeah, ZZZ. Best
Mhm.
debut indie game. I think Aroa might be a little bit mad about this. Cocoon was the
I
winner.
was. Yeah. No,
Pizza Tower.
it should have been Pizza Tower. It really
That's-
should have been.
That's what I hear.
Um,
I actually saw other
like-
people complaining about that.
Like, don't get me wrong, Cocoon looks like a perfectly good game, but it doesn't have a shred of the personality. It doesn't have any of the innovation. And I know, like Cocoon, ooh, you go in and out of worlds. I said on the podcast, I just played an indie game that did the exact same fucking thing. Okay? You're not special, Cocoon.
Well,
All right. You know what's special? Pizza Tower.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they screwed that
Also,
over for you.
They shouldn't have even nominated Viewfinder because that game was a fucking joke. You're gonna fucking put out say Viewfinder whenever like fucking I don't think this was Superliminal nominated whenever it came out because I don't remember whether it was or not. But it was a way fucking better game and it did the exact same gimmick and it didn't have a main character that wouldn't shut the fuck up.
So we're gonna move
So,
on to the next one, which was just best indie game. So the last one was best debut indie game. This is best indie game.
My nap juice is finally worn off and I'm back in I'm energized again.
I see. Sea of Stars won best indie game, which I think should have been Baldur's Gate 3.
I know, right?
So like I actually I skimmed an article the other day that was like, what the fuck is an indie game anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because yeah, like it feels like Baldur's Gate 3 should be called an indie game, but at the same time, Larian is like an international studio.
Oh,
Right,
you mean the people who made Divinity Original Sin 2 and the
Yeah.
original one as well? Those massive games?
Yeah.
Little indie studio.
They're not little, but they are technically an independent studio. So it was a problem that I had in like the late to mid 2000s where people that I knew were like, "Oh, I'm listening to indie music." I'm like, "But they're on a publisher." So
No, indie is a genre now.
yeah, indie is a genre. That's basically what this is, and it's probably you have to be under a certain amount of money or a certain amount of people to be considered an indie game at this point. Which surprisingly enough, Lethal Company. Well, I guess it was released pretty recently, but Lethal Company not even included on this list.
I did just realize, to be fair to Game Awards, I believe they have a cutoff date
Mm-hmm.
that is like sometime in November, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
that may be why.
Best ongoing
Also,
game.
fuck Sea of Stars. Should have been Dave the Diver.
Honestly, yeah.
Best ongoing game, Cyberpunk 2077.
I have a hot take about this category. Why
Yeah.
wasn't World of Warcraft on here? Like, I know they're not doing great, but they're not dying.
Why
World of
wasn't
War-
No Man's Sky on here?
Yeah.
Why isn't No Man's Sky on here? Like, it's not great, but it's not dying.
But also like, okay, so like ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. They released one DLC.
I guess it was really good DLC.
It was pretty good DLC, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's the
And
best.
Final Fantasy 14 hasn't released anything substantial in over a year.
Honestly, I would say not since they made Golden Corral. or golden saucer. I mean, sorry.
Dude, Connor has something on his mind right now. He's like, I need that chocolate
Sorry.
fountain.
Yeah, since they had the fondue plates, just they haven't innovated since.
The best crossover event since the Pizza Hut promotion.
Sorry, but yeah, it's like since they added the actual like fairground that you can go to, they haven't done anything other than click on some more bad guys. And for most of these categories, except maybe Fortnite, where you could play Rocksmith sometimes.
Yeah.
Rock Band, I mean. I don't really see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Fortnite, I could have understood because I really do think that some of the things that they do are legitimately innovative in terms of like what you're capable of doing in a multiplayer game. Like the way that they can seamlessly have everyone on a bunch of different servers all having the same experience at the same time. Like I don't know if you watched the Eminem concert thing, but it was legitimately really fucking cool. Like
Yeah.
it was on the same level as the thing where they had like Galactus attacking the Fortnite planet, and you had to fly a battle bus in to shoot Galactus in the mouth or whatever. Like there's a lot of really cool shit in there. Like it definitely deserved it a lot more than fucking Cyberpunk, which had again one DLC and then a bunch of patches making the game what it should have been in the fucking first place,
Yeah.
without really adding much new content to my understanding, unlike No Man's Sky, which, as they showcased at the Game Awards, has released like multiple games worth of content over the last several years for free.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No Man's Sky. I think they won last year. That might be why. I
Oh,
But
no.
that's not an excuse if you're
It's
putting
not
the
an
work
excuse.
in.
Yeah, I agree, but I was just saying that might be why it wasn't. But we are gonna move on for games for impact. Tichia, is that how you say it?
Chia,
I said it Chia, yeah.
Chia.
chia.
That one I know that Nick Lotus mentioned that she's playing Goodbye Volcano High, which is also one of the
Yeah, that's
Oh
nominees.
man, I'm glad you reminded me of that because I was gonna shit talk it because I just didn't like how it looked. But if
Goodbye Volcano
I
High.
I haven't played it, even a moment of it. I don't even like. I heard it, I came in, I think, while you were talking about what it was or something, or I started listening again, and you said it was like a visual novel or something. I had no idea what it even was. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, like I
I
said at the front, it's basically like it's kind of like Life is Strange meets a visual novel, but like with dinosaur people in
I
high
see.
is
school.
it better written than Life is Strange?
Well,
Certainly.
I personally love Life is Strange, and I didn't have that much of a problem with the
Even
writing.
the dialogue?
I mean, some of the ways that your choices interpreted into what she actually said did make me mad a few times.
yeah,
It
it's
like my because it wasn't even like the plot of Life is Strange. I thought the plot itself was like really compelling,
Oh
but
yeah.
just like the dialogue itself just always reeked of like 40-year-old man wrote this teenager's dialogue.
yeah.
Kind
Maybe
of.
that's me.
And
They
also there was a little bit of kind of like what LA Noire has, where if sometimes you select doubt, and then Cole felt just like you dirty piece of crap, I
You
mean,
touched kids.
Yeah.
Like,
What? um, we're gonna move on, and this is, I assume this is what Nick Lotus wanted to gush over. Neil Newbon from Baldur's Gate 3, the guy who played Asterion, won
uh-huh.
Best Performance.
Yes. And I don't necessarily actually like Asterion as a character to crush on or want a romance. I just kind of wanted to see what would happen in that romance route. I haven't achieved it yet. My main squeeze is Karlak. But
You have
anyway.
to be a douchebag to get Asterion. You have to like kick all the puppies, basically.
But oh my god.
But have you seen him?
But I hated having to shoot down Will. That hurt me.
right?
Yes. Oh my god, he's
It's
just
like
so
one of the most
crushed.
painful interactions I've ever had in a fucking game.
Yes. And
I
it's like,
like Will.
okay, I'm gonna pity date you next time.
I like Will. Will's good.
Will's great. Will's great, but I mean, like his whole like dancing in the dark thing happened in my playthrough like 5 minutes after I had gone to talk to Damon to get Karlach's heart like patched up, and then I kissed her right in front of Will, and then he
Oh,
does this anyway. But anyway,
Interesting.
back to the voice acting and Neil. Uh, it was just really great to see Neil's reaction to getting the award and walking up there, and his speech was so heartfelt and wonderful. And if you've known me long enough, you probably realize that I have a problem with developing parasocial attachments to people who are involved in my media and stuff like that. But the whole cast of BG3 is phenomenal. Neil definitely deserved the award. I just really love how much outward facing stuff the main cast of the game have done to engage with fans. It's just really awesome to to feel like you know the people behind the characters that you've fallen in love with.
And he apparently, I didn't actually read the article, but I think he was contemplating retiring, just going and doing something else, because he wasn't getting any substantial roles, and then he ended up getting this role, and it's kind of reignited the fire for acting that he had.
Yeah. Oh, apparently he's running like some kind of academy, like where he trains voice actors to do mocap stuff, and he did a lot of the directing on the game.
Oh, that's
oh,
cool.
that's amazing.
Um,
You can really tell like he has passion for the art though.
mm-hmm.
Like
Oh yeah.
out of the cast that I've encountered so far in the game, he is an absolute standout. Like if anybody deserved to win this, it was him.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Um,
I could feel how like just the pure emotion that he was dealing with on the stage. It was really obvious.
it would be nice in this best performance list if they said what character is played, because they say, Ben Starr was in Final Fantasy 16, but what character did he play in Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah,
That's just a nitpick. Because like I don't know who Ben Starr played in Final Fantasy 16 because I never played that
I
game.
didn't know Idris Elba was in Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't
Uh,
know that either.
the best audio design went to Hi-Fi Rush, which is
Yeah, that makes sense.
pretty awesome. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, a rhythm
What-
game's got to have a good soundtrack.
What's with the grumbling, Aroa?
He wanted it to be Alan Wake 2.
I I mean, kind of. I'm just like, it's just that like, I thought that the mixing in Hi-Fi Rush wasn't like quite up to snuff,
Yeah.
and it's the audio design category. Like it'd be one thing if it was like innovation in music or something like that. Like I don't know,
Well,
or if it was some kind of innovation category.
the next category is best score / music, and that went to Final Fantasy 16.
Which I agreed with that one.
They
actually.
have to win one.
They did really
But-
good covers of old Final Fantasy songs this
Yeah.
year. Let's acknowledge it.
But also, like, that soundtrack is fucking incredible.
Final
They
Fantasy
they pulled the
16?
Nintendo card, and then they pulled the Nintendo Uno card or whatever. Like they poke evolved it, and god damn it, like it's so good. Like I understand why they go on tours with this shit. It
Uh-huh.
is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The music in Final Fantasy games has since day one been top notch.
I'm just talking about this latest release.
Yeah.
It is a full score orchestra.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm saying.
that-
is they just
It's
that's
like
one
it's like
thing they've
4
always,
CDs.
yeah. That's one thing I was gonna say is they've always excelled on music ever since the first game. They've had just great music in Final Fantasy games. And so it makes sense that they would win this. Best art direction went to Alan Wake 2. Which, sure, I don't know. I haven't played Alan Wake 2. Has anybody here played Alan Wake 2?
I loved the first Alan Wake game. I don't actually like what they've done with this latest one. But that's not what we're talking about here.
I disagree with the next one. Best narrative went to Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with that. They couldn't give Baldur's Gate 3 everything. I do get.
I think that was the main reason why. Because like,
Probably.
if any, like those were the only two I think that deserved it in this category. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 probably should have won.
And then
in
they
all
flipped
honesty.
a coin. and they're like Alan Wake 2.
I get it.
Yeah.
Alan Wake is trying to be a Stephen King novel. I don't think it's quite getting there, but it's trying. They're
Oh,
acknowledging that.
do
Alan
you
Wake even
know
sounds like a
much?
It
Stephen
is.
King book.
Well, it's the first Alan Wake is like it is just a love letter to Stephen King.
Fucking love it.
Alan
Chef's
Wake,
kiss.
Alan Wake 2 probably has more in common with David Lynch than Stephen
Ooh.
King.
Yeah, that's a good call. I agree with that totally.
Yeah.
The
There's some fucking crazy shit that happens in that game.
Let's stop talking about Alan Wake 2 and we'll talk about the next category, which was best game direction, won by Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
I
I don't even know what this category is saying.
It says outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Whatever the
What-
fuck that means.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean?
I honestly would say probably Legend of Zelda then.
Of these categories, I definitely say Legend of Zelda. That one lets you make robots. Just
Yeah.
slap them together, it
Yeah.
works. I'd say that's pretty innovative gameplay.
Yeah, I
Like
would,
you want to talk about a paradigm shift in terms of like what a game series can do to innovate on itself. Like you took Breath of the Wild and then you just made that more and flipped it on its fucking head. Like
yeah.
I don't know. I don't even. I cannot fathom what the hell they're gonna do with that series after that.
No
What
idea.
do the rest of these games even have? Like Super Mario Bros. Wonders has badges. Spider-Man 2 has the thing that Grand Theft Auto 5 had, where you could switch players on the fly. Baldur's Gate 3 has floppy wieners, and Alan's Gate 2 has a flashlight. But like Legend of Zelda has engineering.
Yeah, I would say they missed the mark on this one.
I could see Mario qualifying because of the Wonder Flower thing, because like you can grab the Wonder thing and then like the entire level is totally different, and it does shit that like no other Mario game has ever done with level design. But at the same time, yeah, like it's really cool, but I can't say that it's like a complete fucking revolution in terms of game design like Tears of the Kingdom is, at least for the Zelda series.
Hard agree.
And then the game of the year, Baldur's Gate 3. Which again, we spoke about this at the last award thing they did. That Nintendo came out and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get Game of the Year with Tears of the Kingdom," and maybe even Spider-Man 2 with that developer. They're like, "Oh, maybe we have a chance." And then Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and everyone's like, "God damn it!"
Yeah,
Just
like it's
everyone.
obvious from the time that came out and just the reception that it got. Like
yeah,
nothing else had a chance.
no, and Starfield's not even on the list. And
Well, no, 'cause
they
it's
were
awful.
wanting it. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's awful, but it's not.
They should probably try like making a new game,
Yeah,
and
probably.
then maybe they have a chance
I had
instead of making fucking Fallout 3 again.
Fallout 4.
No, I'd say Fallout 3.
No, it's Fallout 4. There's base building.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a Fallout 4.
But basically,
The base building system that was interesting for like 30 minutes and then just became drudgery. And all I cared about was like connecting all my supply lines.
Yeah,
I
if you
don't-
weren't going
yeah.
hard onto it, it was just a burden.
Yeah, I don't recall it being interesting for the 30 minutes. So I hate base building in games like that. It needed like a top-down view to be able to make it actually worth, like The Sims or something like that, for it to be interesting to me. And
Honestly,
I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
I
the
didn't-
most interesting part about it to me was like connecting all of your bases with supply lines.
Yeah.
I didn't even get that far in Fallout 4.
Oh wow, that's
You
like,
didn't have to do it if you didn't want to.
I got to base building, like I did that, but I
Oh.
didn't even know there was like a supply line thing.
you
like-
don't really have to do it.
You know, you don't
Well,
have to.
My my point being with that though is that like I just didn't play Fallout 4 all that much. I probably put like maybe 20 hours in, if that.
Yeah. I
And
put
like for a Bethesda game, that ain't shit.
no.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I do like I am having fun playing Skyrim, but it's
Skyrim.
Starfield. Starrim.
What's
You
the
see?
difference?
It's
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, it's fire.
But we're gonna move on, and they also
there's a
had
Nakey Jakey video that just came out that really drives my point home.
Mhm.
Y'all should watch that or
On
listen
that
to it
note, I
like I
do
am.
like that sitting on an exercise ball and shouting opinions is now a genre of video on YouTube. Jakey
um
Jakey, Bricky, I could go on, and that's the unfortunate part.
yeah, we are gonna move on. We're gonna talk about something, not the whole show, not the whole Game Award show. There were a lot of things announced, a lot of trailers shown off. Um, I've looked through this and pretty much nothing interests me except for maybe Dragon Ball.
What?
I I I don't care
Pony
about
Island
like.
2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was one of the ones I was
Other
gonna
thing,
mention. That looks so dope.
the other thing I don't care about. What's up with Pony Island 2?
It's like
It's Pony Island 2.
I never played Pony Island 1, so I don't really know much about the genre,
Yeah, I
but it's
don't know.
so weird in the right way. Like art
Yeah.
house kind of weird. I am
Yeah.
intrigued, and it's got this silly Chinaman. That's not what I meant to say. It's got
Mhm.
this. What is wrong with us on this podcast? Something is in the air.
Nathan already said one racial slur. Jesus.
I didn't mean
It-
to. I was just stuttering. There's a difference.
they got. I'm trying to think of what the game it reminds me of. It's
Nicole's
kind of.
never coming back.
Yeah, in case anyone from the network is listening, I have not uttered any racial slurs,
I
and I do not endorse any.
I wasn't endorsing. I was just stuttering over my words. I'm sorry.
It reminds
Um,
me of, I think, Work Time Fun and just how it's random, but it's telling a story that I want. I must know more about.
I'm
Uh,
watching the trailer
I'm
now,
probably
and
gonna pick this up.
I don't get
the
it.
the first Pony Island was fucking insane. And like I feel like the developer really came into his own with Inscription, and I think he's taking everything he learned from that and putting it back into the absolute fucking insanity that was Pony Island and making this. And I cannot wait to see what all happens with that, because like this dude is an auteur among indie developers. Like
This isn't sorry to interrupt. This isn't like a horror game. It's just is it meant to be creepy or unsettling?
I think that's just kind of his aesthetic,
I like
is
it.
that shit just it I don't know how to put it, but other than uncanny. Like it just doesn't feel comfortable.
It doesn't
But
seem right. Yeah.
yeah,
Unsettling.
it's not necessarily threatening, it's just wrong,
Yeah.
which is very much what the first Pony Island was. Except it was actually threatening on multiple occasions because you're ostensibly fighting against Satan. But
Interesting.
you know.
There is the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and it's
Yeah,
another Dragon Ball game.
Good old
pretty
Budokai Tenkaichi.
I know Ash is really interested in that,
I
but
was pretty excited by it.
yeah. I mean, and I'll probably play it. I love Dragon Ball, but you know, they've told the same story for the last 25 years in
Yeah,
every game
well,
that's released.
Well, it's a good
at least
story. Shut up.
at least this one's a proper fighting game and it's gonna have shit from Super in it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Did you have any of the trailers or anything that you were excited about, Nick Lotus?
Yeah, just a brief mention. You guys we were just talking about fighting games, and I was kind of looking at this. Is Suicide Squad supposed to be more like an Injustice sequel, or more like the Batman Arkham games?
I believe it
it's
is. I believe I'm not watching the trailer, but I know that Suicide Squad is coming out, and it's supposed to be like that Gotham Arkham Knights game,
Hmm.
mhm.
Oh,
It's
okay.
which
a
was really bad.
Yeah, like it was
it's
hard to tell from the trailer. for me.
So I will say that I seem to recall that the game was going to come out either this year or maybe like really late last year, and the response from the early beta gameplay was so negative that they put it back in the oven and have completely overhauled the game.
Yeah,
So
Oh wow.
uh maybe it'll be better.
hopefully.
Because yeah, like the Arkham Knights game got a lot of very negative press for being pretty much just a cash grab built off of the goodwill from the other Arkham games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello Games has also uh put a trailer out for their newest game, which I think they were getting all the jokes that we were making, and they're making their own Skyrim. So now they're making no more Skyrim, called Light No Fire.
It's kind of like you could also call it like their take on the Gennaro high fantasy survival
mhm.
genre, but it looks like it'll be really good.
Yeah, they're you see them flying on, like, there's actually some, it looks like gameplay, it could be all rendered, where they're flying on dragons and riding horses and stuff. So it it looks good, but again, time as always will tell on that, on if it's actually good. It does look like it's multiplayer, but I could be wrong.
Oh no, it is
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, good.
They said that.
And there's no release date or window is it's set. So probably 4 or 5 years from now, they'll have a game released. Was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about? Any other stories from
Yeah.
the Game
Well, as
Awards?
far as yeah, I just kind of wanted to do a quick footnote on Suicide Squad and then move on to the two games that I had a few more thoughts about.
Okay.
The new Prince of Persia demo got announced. It's coming out, is it today or like in the next couple of days?
January
And
11th.
okay, so okay, that's my
What?
brother.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so
January
it's
11th. Tomorrow.
December 11th, not January
Yeah.
11th. Okay, so tomorrow then. Nice. Okay, well, yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying this game out. It looks like it's gonna have a lot of similar game mechanics to the original Sands of Time that came out in like 03 or something, which is one of my favorite games ever. Plus, not to get too thirsty, but the protagonist is kind of hot. He has like a Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger vibe that I'm here for.
Uh-huh.
And then the other game that I kind of took notes on to mention today is, and just because we've been talking about Life is Strange already, and Lost Records is made by Don't Nod, the team behind Life is Strange, and there was a trailer for that, and it looks like my jam because I played the first Life is Strange and its expansions, and I was just obsessed with it. And just it was also just visually speaking on like the characters that they featured in the trailer. It was also really nice to see a variety of body types kind of among the main group of friends featured in the trailer.
Yeah, not just skinny white girls like in
Yeah.
like in Life is Strange.
Yeah, I mean, for as much as I love it, it wasn't perfect, I admit it.
Yeah. Um
I was surprised that they managed to break through how much I don't like Don't Nod. Like
oh,
I am intrigued by it.
well, that's good. Yeah, I've played most of the Life is Strange games, and I've played some of like their other spin-offs, and I would say, or games that are similar to that. And I would say out of all of their games, just the first Life is Strange was the best one, at least narratively, that I played. Um and I don't know, hopefully this game's good. They seem to be doing well enough that they keep making games, so they can't be losing too much money every time they release a new
Oh
game.
no, definitely not.
Um was there anything else you wanted to talk about, Aroa?
Uh,
About the Game
was that it,
Awards?
Nicole?
Oh, well, those were
Oh,
the two main things. I mean,
Oh,
I've got
okay.
notes about some other things that I'll chime in on if anybody else brings them up, but those were kind of the trailers that I wanted to touch on, and then there's kind of some presentations and appearances that I'm sure are going to come up with everybody else.
maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I just didn't want to take it. Um so I didn't care about the actual like trailer for Hellblade 2,
Uh-huh.
but I thought it was really fucking cool that they had Heilung on stage, like doing a live performance with like all their shit.
I
No,
was gonna
I
mention
don't
that too.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone did they name Heilung? Did they say that that was them, or was there just a performance happening? And
They definitely didn't mention who it was, and I recognized them immediately, and I was going to
yeah,
be like, "Oh, I can't wait to educate my normie ass friends on this dope ass obscure band." But no, I guess everyone fucking knows who it is already. Okay.
well, I was in a Discord call during that, and I looked over and saw Heilung performing some song I didn't recognize, but I was like, "Holy shit, that's Heilung!"
Mhm.
And they were like, "The fuck are you? What?" I thought this was just like some weird thing they were doing. I was
Well,
like,
Nah,
"No, this is what all their concerts are like. It's fucking great. I love them."
I don't know what you're talking about because I didn't watch that, but that's
they're,
good. I'm happy you
they're from
guys.
Germany. You should see them while you're there. I think Nathan would not fit into a Heilung show. That's what I think.
Not even slightly.
I was looking up to see if they had any Rammstein concerts when I'm there, but they don't have any.
Uh,
The main singer was recently in a little bit of trouble. I think he got past it, but that's probably why.
Um,
wait, of
Rammstein?
Rammstein?
There was
Yeah,
like sexual allegations. Now's not the time.
that's not
um,
terribly surprising with him, but I was slightly disappointed that I don't believe at any point during the Heilung performance that they have the guy on there that does the like thing. That's like it's like my favorite thing they do. But yeah,
unfortunately, it does not look like I have the ability to go to one of their concerts.
Bummer.
how
Yeah,
unfortunate.
how unfortunate.
Uh,
Sorry.
I was also really hyped to finally see the new Sega stuff revealed.
Yeah.
The CEO had mentioned that they were working on what was essentially like a super game with like all of their franchises sort of running together, and I guess that's kind of what that was. That they're making sort of like a big like arcade sort of game where you'll have all of these other modernized versions of their hit games available. Uh, though the Golden Axe game kind of reminded me of the one that came out on Xbox 360 a long time ago that no one remembers that
Which,
wasn't very good.
yeah, I was gonna say that one was bad.
Honestly, we saw so little with this trailer. I guess
Yeah,
specifically of Golden Axe that it's hard to say.
yeah. And you know, speaking of stuff we didn't see very much of, Hideo Kojima and
Yep,
Jordan Peele
yep.
Uh-huh.
bringing up a game that's not Silent Hills, even though we had them come out of the door that's from Silent Hills, well, from PT. So that's pretty fucking exciting.
And they just
The
show it's
two
the
of
trailer just faces.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima shit. It's weird. The
Okay.
two of
So
them powering up together is going to be monumental. Like Jordan Peele, Hideo Kojima, that's a creative powerhouse right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good.
yeah,
It's gonna be
I
good. It's gonna be weird. I'm not gonna get it the first time I play it.
God, I it just knowing that Kojima's finally gonna get to make his fucking horror game is gonna be so fucking good.
Yay!
I
Ah,
don't even like horror games, but I'm excited to see how this turns out.
I've wanted this since PT.
yeah.
Um,
Um, and
next.
I assumed that that at least one of you were excited about Den of Wolves.
Not
No,
me. Eh,
you're not excited about it? Really? It's Payday from the
Oh
guys
yeah,
who
I saw
actually
that.
made Payday.
but
Yeah,
like, I,
I
I
saw it. Well,
I haven't seen enough to be excited. I'm excited that they're doing it, I guess, but
Oh
it's good for them.
no, yeah, I was like, oh shit, they're they're done with GTFO. I didn't even realize. And then they were like, yeah, we're gonna make Payday, and it looks like that game that we were working on after the first Payday, but then stopped working on it and made Payday 2 instead. Uh,
yeah,
I'm excited about that.
yeah. I think
I'm
I watched
Uh,
this trailer and it looks fine. Why? I need
I'm
to see
excited to see
more.
more. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, I'm not
because
like
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not
like
super
no
hyped for it, but I'm excited to see what it is.
yeah, there's no gameplay. So it could be Payday 2, it could be Payday 3, it could be Rocket City. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I've been hurt before by people associated with Payday. I've gotten calluses by this.
Yeah,
I
there
will
is
say GTFO is like ludicrously hard to a fault, I think. So hopefully they don't go that route again.
hopefully not. One thing I wanted to bring up, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, it looks like it was delayed until September 9th,
Yeah.
2024.
Why did you want to bring that up? You know I had that on my list.
You didn't you didn't bring it up yet. And I just wanted to say it got delayed.
Nathan wanted to
and,
get to talk.
You hadn't
and
called
then-
on
turn
him
to
yet,
talk.
man.
Nathan's the one
Connor.
who loves Warhammer here.
Yeah, me. I'm the one that paints Warhammers. That's me. I'm gonna
Hey,
change.
hey, what chapter is Titus with? What chapter of the Space Marine again? The blue ones? Uh-huh.
3.
No.
Yeah, who does the
I know
Warhammer
that's
minute on
not-
this show, Nathan?
I'm gonna change
The
that to
Ultra Marines. The answer
yeah.
we're looking for is the Ultra Marines.
I'm gonna change that name of that text chat to Nathan's Art Palace and pretend that it's me posting all of it. No, I just thought we'd want to talk about that. It's a nothing story. We knew it was getting delayed. Did you have anything else, Aroa, to talk about?
No,
Okay.
that was everything that I remember at least.
Connor, did you have
Mecha
any?
Break, actually.
I guess I
Mecha
lied.
Break looks like Zone of the Enders.
It does. It
I
looks
love
pretty
Zone of the
okay.
Enders.
And that was a PS2 game, right?
Yeah.
Connor, besides Warhammer, did you have anything else to talk about?
Besides Warhammer, my list basically got sniped out of here, but that's okay. The other one here would be Azra's Wrath 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be talking about this if I didn't have a headset to play it on. This looks kind of cool. Like, when Assassin's Creed Origins was doing its, like, Egyptian sci-fi, I guess sci-fi is not the right word, Egyptian fantasy arc, I felt like this is what it was trying to look like. It's neat. I'm excited to see more, and they had Matt Mercer talking about it for some reason. I didn't really get that
Because
part.
he's the main bad guy.
He's the main bad guy
Oh.
in everything. He's
been like majorly. I think he has something to do with either they're paying him to market it, or like he has something to do with development. Because my wife has gotten really hard into Critical Role, and he has apparently been shilling the fuck out of it on there too.
Oh,
That makes sense.
that's where he's from.
He feels like the next Nolan North.
Yeah, he's kind of getting there, isn't he?
Yeah.
I feel he was Gammondorf. He's in this. He's in Critical Mole.
He's in everything basically.
That's
Him-
it. That's everything.
That is
Him and,
everything.
Like Yuri Lowenthal are everyone.
They did show the Fallout trailer again for the TV show, and what does anybody have any thoughts on the Fallout TV show trailer that they saw?
We've seen so little. How could you have
Yeah.
like it's power armor. Oh,
Yeah.
it was a lady butt. She walking out of the vault. The fuck am I else? What else am I supposed to say, man?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The blue makeup on that one character was kind of cool.
The only thing
It looks like they actually played or at least watched footage of the games.
that
Yeah.
it does, but watching the trailer, I'm like, they need to like film grain or something over this footage. Like
It does look
looks
too clean.
it looks so clean, and that's like I think, you know, I've played Fallout games since the 90s, so I'm like, I expect it to have like some sort of like 180p resolution with like a bunch of grain, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this looks like it was shot in 8K with like a super nice camera, and everything is just placed here to look kind of like Fallout, but it just feels way too clean, as you said, and they need to like dirty it up a little bit.
I
I
did have
don't
a
know.
gut reaction about it, and I don't really know where I'm going with this yet. but it gives me the feeling that I've gotten of when I look at the Halo show footage.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like over in resolution or if they didn't get the scale right. Something about it just doesn't seem right. I can't
Yeah.
put my finger on it yet.
And maybe it's because we're used to seeing the Fallout world in a first-person view, and we're taking it to like a
Maybe.
third-person view.
Honestly,
I
I
think
think they could put a green filter over everything and that'd fix a lot of the problems.
Maybe.
yeah, I really do think that it's because the Fallout games are so very I guess I don't want to say like the gameplay is all like color graded. Like I don't think they actually have like a green filter over everything, but there's definitely like a visual aesthetic that is associated with Fallout, and like you have that in 3 and 4 where everything does have that like dark muted tones to it, and then you have New Vegas, which is all very orange and is a little more saturated. But then you look at footage of the show and it just looks like Westworld, and
Yeah.
like it looks like an HBO production or something. And I do think that has some effect on it. Like they probably need to do like I'm not saying they need to pull like that one Mad Max movie where they just they put it all in like sepia or something. Like that would be dumb. But yeah, I hope that maybe that trailer was put together with like dailies or something that just haven't had color grading done, and they'll fix that in post.
I
But
was thinking
that said, I'm not gonna watch it anyway because I don't really care that much.
I'll
But I
watch it.
hope it's better than the Halo show.
I will watch it. It's funny. It makes like when colors are off, it can feel it can ruin everything in a TV
Oh yeah.
show.
I
If
hear
you
you.
I'm thinking of the Munsters movie that came out. Now the Munsters movie was bad, the one made by Rob Zombie. But they like just turned the saturation all the way up and it just ruined all the colors. It was terrible. Um Before we move on, or before we end this, you had a couple other things you wanted to bring up, Nicole, or are you done
With us
Nick.
forever.
with us forever?
Well, I mean, okay, I'm just going off like random thoughts that I put down while I was watching, but the the co-host. I'm not going to start from the very beginning. I'll just go from like the last one of the last notes I had on the trailers was the game The Last Sentinel. I don't remember anything about that trailer other than thinking, wow, the people who made this game are clearly very proud of the protagonist butt.
Very
I mean, it's a nice
possible.
butt, but
Sells
I
copies.
mean, I guess. And then I just wanted to comment on just because my parasocial ass can't handle it. Simu Liu geeking out over his role in Stormgate was just so adorable and endearing and relatable. And I would be a giddy mess too if I got to voice a major video game character.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
like for real, if any developers are listening right now, please hit me up.
I had
it is.
Oh, I'm sorry, go on.
Well, it was a weird trend where it seemed like the new thing now is that some big actor is just going to put their name on a video game. And it's like, on the one hand, that feels like really weird and like pandery, but at the same time, like a lot of these actors are our age, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, like if if I got to be part of something that has been a huge part of my life for the last 30 years, like why wouldn't I be excited about that? Yeah, I'd immediately jump on that instead of like being on some random fucking HBO show or some movie I don't give a shit about. Like,
In a heartbeat. Like if you get
Totally.
the ability to choose your products and you get one that you're passionate about already, no brainer.
yeah.
Seems like Keanu Reeves kind of opened the floodgates on this celebrity game collaboration trend.
But who was the dude in the Call of Duty? It's the piece of shit one. Not Call of Duty, the person, the piece of shit person.
Wait, are you talking about the guy that they hired to present Call of Duty
No,
and he had no idea about it?
no, he was like screen scanned in and then like he ended up being like a child diddler or something like that.
Oh, that's not quite the same thing.
I
I
mean,
don't
it's
think.
I get what you're saying, but like that's definitely a celebrity they used within their game for let's be honest, advertising purposes.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but that I don't think that's quite the same as like because the Keanu Reeves thing, like I think it was like a secondary thing, at least it seemed that way, that he, it was making money off of it. It it did seem like a project that he actually cared about, kind of like The Matrix,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
like yeah, he it was like a huge thing for him in terms of his career, but also like he very obviously enjoyed doing that role.
Yeah. And then kind of the last little thought I had about this about the different celebrity appearances was okay. After watching the segment about Exodus, I had to immediately think how many people have now Googled, can I bang Matthew McConaughey's character in Exodus?
Did you look that up?
I did not look that up. I was just I that was the thought was how many people have done that now?
Uh, probably quite a few.
All right, all right, all right.
I don't know.
No, he
I
made a
have
big
no idea.
joke out of not coming out saying that immediately, which was fun.
That's good. Yeah. So the Game Awards, I didn't watch much of it other than the trailers. So I'm happy. I'm happy you guys enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it. Uh, if that's everything we're gonna talk about with the Game Awards, that's the end of the show. So I would like to thank Nick Lotus for being here,
Thank you for having me.
and then Cyberpunk Monk, thank you for being here.
And thank you, audience, who probably didn't stick around this long.
It's very possible. And thank you, Aroa, for being here. If you did, I'll let you say you're welcome.
Huh?
Okay, perfect. And if you did stick around this long, give us a rating on Spotify or something. Be nice. Write a little blurb somewhere. Tell us how much you love us. Join the Discord and tell them that you like the Reetin Entertainment podcast. We'll be back next week, probably with a shorter podcast. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. We gonna do what they say can be done.